How you doing? I don't usually do this kind of stuff. Um, Commentary, YouTube is not really my department. I honestly just kind of leave it to better people. As you can see, I've been awake all night working on stuff. If you've been following the Twitter, you know I've been kind of working on some stuff after learning some shit the other day. So let's have a little chat for a minute. Because I actually learned some stuff, and like, there's important things that I feel, honestly, even if nobody watches this video, uh, these are important things for me to keep in mind, right? And they might be important things for you to keep in mind. So, up until last week, I had an awful lot of, and you know what? I'm not even going to show it because I'm not scrubbing it. It's still staying up. Because I don't think mistakes should be erased. I'm not one of those people. But I'm never going to use it ever again. I'm going to make sure it's never live broadcasted on my channel. Because it honestly really bugged me. So, it came to light a couple of weeks ago there. As we all saw, Greta Thunberg was in a picture, and there was like a little octopus on somebody's like leg behind her. Apparently, it is like an autism related thing. They can like turn it inside out to like show different faces and stuff, which I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. But the part of it that I didn't think was very cool was all of the sudden, all of these people showed up and they were like, oh, the octopus is the symbol of, or is a symbol of anti-Semitism. And I was like, whoa, wait, what? I was unaware of this. Now, I don't think that I had chosen it. I know that I chose the octopus like as something that was, related to anti-Semitism and bigotry. I believe it was inadvertent, but I don't believe it was an accident. Okay? And I want to talk about that because it's important to talk about, because it was really kind of hard for me to come to that realization. And when you're processing these kinds of things, it's not always super easy, yo. Okay, so it comes out that the octopus is the symbol of, for like, Nazis use it to attack Jewish people, and I'm like, well, that's not something I want to be fucking associated with. And you know what? I'm gonna take the time. I'm gonna take the responsibility on myself to like research what all their fucking symbols are, and then I'm gonna pick something that's not that. Right? Right? This should be relatively easy. I'm thinking to myself, hey, what's this list gonna be? 5 things, 10 things? They got what? A couple of animals, so maybe a few digits. I knew they had a few numbers. Let me fucking tell you, my friends, I'm not gonna show it to you because you don't want to see it. It's so much. It's so much. It's so fucking much. Like, wow, these people. And like, there is a. I'm going to try and keep my thoughts organized. You know how I roll? I do not write scripts. I keep things kind of raw, right? So what you're kind of seeing in the background here is some of the new iconography and opening screens and stuff for the rebrand of the channel. And honestly, you'll see the word Tessa coming up because that's my name. I am Tessa. No, I'm not going to give you my last name. That's insane. There's a million Tessas in the world. I'm sure it's fine. And if the last few weeks has taught me anything, is if you actually do become a very big YouTuber or Twitch person or whatever, everybody just knows your real name anyway. So it's like, yeah, whatever, it's fine. I will just use that because I am not a bigot. So if I just use my fucking name, I can avoid this 11-page booklet of crap. Now let me tell you what. There's so much, and it blew my fucking mind. Okay? But my friends, and especially my white friends, you need to hear this. Because we need to talk about this. Okay? Because a lot of those elements that I was coming across, I was like, wait a minute. A lot of these symbols and a lot of these elements are things that I do remember from my childhood. Now I want to be real, okay? My mother is a fucking saint and did her best, okay? She worked really hard. My stepfather was not. He was incredibly bigoted. So, I was in an environment as a child where this was very omnipresent. And like mom tried, she worked. She had to work. People have to work, right? Okay, most people have to work. Let's not let's leave the vagaries and outliers out of that conversation, right? As I sit here making a YouTube video. But a lot of these elements were things that had been in stories that I had been told by my stepfather growing up. Things that had just been sort of integrated into my subconscious. So when I chose the octopus, I don't think it was... I cannot call it an accident. I can call it inadvertent because I feel like I most likely reached out to a symbol that felt familiar. And then when I found out, I had that reaction, okay? And I understand this. And this is another thing we need to talk about, okay? Because I had that response and I had that feeling of, well, but I'm not, so the thing I picked can't be. But that's not the way it works. Right? And other people are saying, well, hey, the symbolism is not amazing. So, and it is extremely important. And you need to listen to me. It is so important for us. Okay? I am speaking to you as a blue-eyed, pale-skinned, okay, my hair's not as blonde as it used to be, but it's still pretty light colored. Okay? I am speaking to you as like a fellow white person, like, we need to be listening. We need to be acknowledging. And like, I am 43 years old. I have done the best I can to be an ally to as many communities as I can be. The ones that are reasonable human beings. Right? I'm a trans woman. So like, I do engage in a lot of activism over there. And like, even now, right, at 43 years old, without thinking about it, without even realizing, I went somewhere that was, right? And when I recognized that mistake, yeah, it hurt. I was like, shit. Is that what I've been telling people? Like, oh, I need to change that, right? Because yes, there's that instinct to like, oh, well, no, I'll just keep it and people will figure it out eventually. And like, that's not the way to go about it. So, we are getting rid of all of the all of the white octopus, the chill, relaxed octopus, and all that other octopus bullshit has now been stripped. Because it's important to recognize that I made a mistake, and it's important to, when you realize a mistake, let me rephrase that, because I never write a fucking script. Life is not about the mistakes you make. And I learned this a long time ago. Life is about what you do after you've made a mistake. Because you're gonna make mistakes. These things happen. Right? Like, especially after years and years and years of programming and like generational, and like I do need to acknowledge like how much of this stuff is stacked up in right? My familial relationships and so on and so forth. So it's important to remember that it doesn't matter how old you are, where you are, what you've done, or anything else, you are still going to make mistakes. And what you do after that mistake, and whether or not you take some time to kind of reflect and say, okay, where did this mistake come from? What did I do? Like, where did this information sort of seep inwards? And eventually you'll find it, right? So, I know I'm rambling. I know. Because as you can see, like, I look like crap. I haven't slept. I'm sitting here in my nightgown because that's the way I roll. At least I got fresh soda. So I've actually been working on this for the last week, right? You'll notice I haven't really been online in a few days. All my info changed a couple of days last week because I've been just cranking off trying to get this done, trying to find all the accounts that had that name on them, getting rid of them. The only ones that are left now cost money for me to change, so they're off the channel for now. We'll see them come back slowly because I'm no whale, right? I'm a little dolphin. I get like $20 every couple of weeks that I can spend on the video games. So, you know, I I can change them slowly, right? So we'll see. We won't see Mech Warrior because they are just one of them. It will be the first one to get switched over. But we won't see it for a couple of weeks, at least a week until I get some money. So until then, your new name update is I will be broadcasting under the name Terrifying Tessa, which I think is pretty cool. In game, you will find me under a number of monikers because not all of them would allow me to take that name. Some of them I had to switch for something else. So you will see Tessa Terror, you will see Madam Mischief, you will see the Mistress of Missiles, you will see General Sapphire because that's my oldest gamer tag, and that's just like super lesbian, and I love it. So yeah, that's what is going on, and more importantly, to me, oh man, I'm looking at myself in the camera and I'm like, I'm fucking bad. I gotta go look. I can literally blind myself with this fucking lighter leash. Like, oh, but the videos are done. You will see. I am heading back to SoundCloud. I haven't actually posted anything to there in a while, so we will see some new stuff there. Because, well, you can't make new videos, new branding, new everything else without a new frickin' theme song, can you? I am definitely rambling. I never know how to end videos, right? So, the long and short of it is that the TLDR, because I try to keep things short and generally fail, is you have to always grow. You always have to be a person who's growing and learning and changing and realizing what kinds of subconscious bias might lead you to make selections that otherwise you may not make. Right? Like I chose a bunch of imagery just sort of out of oh yeah, this will be cool, and without really thinking about it, just kind of letting my subconscious do the talking, and I found some shit that didn't belong. And as white people, right? Because I'm gonna be real, people of color, First Nations, right? So many groups of people on this planet, and honestly, they have had enough of our shit. And I see a lot of white people out there just refusing to do the hard work. And if you only do things when it's easy, it doesn't fucking mean shit. Right? If you don't do the hard work and you only do the easy shit, it means nothing. It only matters when the big stuff, when the hard stuff, when you're like, oh, wow, look what I found buried in my fucking brain. You need to be willing to own up to that. We all need to be willing to own up to that, because honestly, there's just a lot of people out there that are absolutely 100% justified in being sick of our shit. All of us. And I have to say us, because you can't. And I know, like, I want to be an ally. You want to be an ally. A lot of the people who are going to watch this, right? Because I don't really interact in a positive manner with people of the other persuasion, if you know what I mean. Right? A lot of the people are going to see this, and who see this are going to say, you know, I am an ally, right? Or I do my best to be an ally, which is what you should always say. It's never I am an ally. It's always I do my best to be an ally every day, because it's a conscious, constant effort. Because that's what people deserve. Human beings deserve a constant, conscious effort to have peace and happiness and safety and not be dead. A little bit of the current Twitter discourse. It's creeping in there. All right, so I am going to end this video, this rambly, ranty video, because those of you who do watch me on the regular know that this is kind of my style. It's very self-aware. It's very open. It's very just sort of active. I don't ever want to be scripted. I don't ever want to be edited. I want to be raw and real and human and fun and over there and over here and all squirrel, right? But at the same time, try and communicate, you know, the things that are important. So, I'm going to end this video now, and you are going to remember that I love you. Because I do. You came to watch my video, you're taking a minute, now you're thinking about yourself, and you're like, hey, you know, do I have work to do? Maybe I do. We all have work to do. We all have a lifelong amount of work to do. And that's okay. That's awesome. That's called evolution. And you should never feel bad for having to learn something and having to change and grow. Right? Right. So, this is your inspirational message and, you know, cautionary tale, I suppose, of the week that I'm going to post to YouTube, that I never do. I never post this kind of stuff to YouTube. Honestly, because I don't think commentary is really my thing. I don't like giving commentary on things that aren't mine. So this is us. This directly pertains to me, and we're talking about me. So I do feel comfortable making a commentary video about myself, weird as it may be. So don't forget how much I love you. Don't forget, it means more when it's harder to do. Right? Don't worry. I got you. Stay safe out there, okay?